Okay, Hare Krishna. So we can start now. First, I offer my obeisances unto the assembly of all Vaishnavas. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Welcome to all the Vaishnavas. This is the first session, or we can say informal session of our Bhagavad Gita study. We will be discussing Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it was presented by Srila Prabhupada, and we will go in depth of its details. So, what are the details that we'll discuss in brief? So, first we will be discussing Srila Prabhupada's purports and how those purports are applicable in our practical life. So we'll get a practical demonstration or a practical value of Bhagavad Gita teachings in our daily life. Then we will also discuss Srimad Bhagavad Gita in its traditional context. Uh, Traditional context means as it has been presented by Gaudiya Vaishnava acharyas such as Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and Baldev Vidyabhushan. There are other acharyas who have written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he has also written a commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Uh, Primarily, we will be discussing Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentaries, and along with that, we will be discussing Baldev Vidyabhushan, and whatever extra information we get into other commentaries of Vaishnava Acharyas, we will include those details also. And literally, we will discussing each verse in great detail so that we will be well acquainted with that particular verse. And we will see how e- every verse takes us into uh, the amount of details or depth. We will not limit that session for this particular verse. We will take as many sessions as required for that particular verse. So that will be our approach. And moreover, uh, I also expect from the audience or from our Vaishnavas to reflect over the teachings and reflect over the discussions and take active participation. Whatever questions you might have during the session or after the session, you may ask us at the end of each session, and we'll be happy. We'll be most happy to answer those questions. So please feel free to ask your questions regarding the Bhagavad Gita verse we will be discussing, or any other such details, any other discussion about Bhagavad Gita, or any queries in general regarding dharma or our Vedic scriptures. So, or any practical problems you may have in your life. So that also can be discussed at the end. We won't be having a, very long session for that. So we will have some 5 or 10 minutes max to discuss the questions, and most of the time we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita during the session. So this will be the basic structure, and before we start, we should be clear what we are going to discuss and why we should discuss it. That's a sign of any intelligent person to first understand what we are doing and why we are doing. So obviously, when we thought of joining the session, joining Bhagavad Gita classes, so we must be having some idea of what we are going to expect from that course, and we must be having some idea why Bhagavad Gita is relevant for us. Apart from that, what I'm going to present is what we are going to expect from Bhagavad Gita, and why we should expect the same from Bhagavad Gita is Bhagavad Gita is part of these Vedic scriptures, and why it is necessary to study it, because it takes us to our ultimate prayojana, or our ultimate purpose of life. So that's the basic understanding of what we are doing and why we are doing. Now, why it is essential to understand these two aspects, what and why? Because before we do anything or commence anything or study anything, it is always important to know three aspects. One is sambandha, another is abhidheya, and third one is prayojana. So what that means is sambandha means its relationship with the whole Vedic study, or in one sense we can say what is any relations, what is its relationship with the uh, with God. So because whatever knowledge, or whether it's Vedic knowledge or any other things we learn, ultimately it should have a divine source, right? Unless it is inspired by divine source, which, or it has a divine root, it has got no meaning to us, right? Uh, why? Because once we have the divine source, then we can really rely on it. We can't rely on something material. One may ask that are we really against any material? No, we are not against anything material, but we are against anything which has a material source. So, the source of anything we do or study, that should be divine. So, the divine source may have material aspects or may have produced material things. That's a different thing. But to really rely on anything, we must have a divine source. So that's a sambandha aspect or relationship aspect. Another thing is abhideya. Abhideya means the process, what that relationship leads us to, or what are the details of that relationship, or what we are going to study or do for that particular in that relationship. So that is abhideya, or for simplicity, we can say it's a process. And prayojana, the third aspect is prayojana, is purpose or goal. So it's very easy to understand. So by sambandha and abhideya, that particular sambandha and abhideya should lead us to our desired prayojana or purpose. Then only it is worth to have that relationship and have that abhideya or process. Otherwise, it is a futile endeavor. So, considering that, regarding Bhagavad Gita or uh, Bhagavad Gita as it is, for that sake, it is a part of Vedic literature, and in all sampradayas, all authentic sampradayas, uh, there are three main granthas that are considered authoritative sources of knowledge, and based on these three authoritative books, they propound their teachings or they base their sampradaya. So it's called Prasthana Trayi. Prasthana Trayi. What that mean is, Prasthana means journey. Prasthana means any journey, and Trayi means three. So there are three authoritative books or three uh, authoritative books of knowledge that leads us to our ultimate prayojana. So one is Shruti Prasthana, another is Smriti Prasthana, and third one is Nyaya Prasthana. So Shruti Prasthana means, by the name itself we can understand that it has a Vedas. So by Shruti Prasthana we understand Upanishads. Shruti contains many scriptures, basically uh, four Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. Uh, but we are particularly uh, concerned with the Upanishad part of the Vedas. Upanishads are also part of Vedas, but when we say Shruti Prasthana, so we refer to uh, mainly this Upanishads. And then there is Smriti Prasthana. Smriti Prasthana means this Bhagavad Gita. So any authentic sampradaya, he must write commentary on Bhagavad Gita to propound its teachings. So we can clearly see in all the sampradayas, authentic sampradayas, that their acharyas have written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads. And the third one is Nyaya Prasthana. Nyaya Prasthana is Vedanta Sutra or Brahma Sutras. So, Brahma Sutra, there are some 555 sutras are there, and on those sutras, or we can say, uh, how to say, sutras are something are short statements that contains where, uh, a vast meaning. Just for the simplicity, I'm putting it in this way. So these sutras, it contains a vast amount of knowledge, but it has been conveyed in a very short form. So uh, any sampradaya to be recognized, it must have commentaries on these three prasthanas: Shruti Prasthan, Smriti Prasthan, and Nyaya Prasthan. So Shruti Prasthan means Upanishads, Smriti Prasthan means Bhagavad Gita, and Nyaya Prasthana, that means Vedanta Sutras. So once we have these three prasthanas or commentaries on these three prasthanas, then it is considered a bona fide or authentic sampradaya. Otherwise, the rest we can understand it is something apasampradaya. Apasampradaya means they are sampradaya only in namesake, but actually they are not presenting real teachings of the Vedas. And one may question then, what are the teachings of the Vedas? Are are teachings of the Vedas mean these three things only? No. These three things are the essence of the Vedas. This Prasthanatrayi, these three things, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and Vedanta Sutra. These are the essence of Vedic teachings. So one may then question that then what are the Vedic teachings? If you want to understand Vedic teachings, and being a follower of Sanatana Dharma, we must be aware of the Vedic teachings. If somebody asks us that, uh, what are your books of knowledge, for example, so we should be able to answer that question. Now, one way we may say, oh, we have Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavad, but that's not sufficient to uh, really satisfy the person, because that's not a satisfied answer. Vedic teachings means there are 14 sources of knowledge. And technically, it is called 14 Vidyasthanas. Vidyasthanas means sources of knowledge, sources of valid knowledge. Now, what are those sources? So, it's very easy to understand. Uh, First, four Vedas: Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved, Atharved. These are the four Vedas. Then there are six Vedangas. Six Vedangas means one is Shiksha. Shiksha means uh, phonetics, the science dealing with phonetics. Then Kalpa, science dealing with rituals, Vedic rituals, yajnas. First one is Shiksha, then Kalpa. Third one is Vyakarana, science dealing with grammar. Fourth one is Nirukta, science dealing with etymological meanings. Then fifth one is Chanda, science dealing with meters, meters of the various texts, Sanskrit texts. And the last one, sixth one is Jyotisha, or astrology or astronomy. So these six things, these are six Vedangas. So first we have four Vedas, and then we have this six Vedangas. So total we have now 10 Vidyasanas. And now the rest four are Nyaya, uh, Mimamsa, Dharmashastra, and Puranas. So Nyaya, that is also a tool, or we can say it's a science dealing with logics. So it should not be confused with the Nyaya Darshana. Based on Nyaya, there is a particular darshan that is called Nyaya Darshana. Among the Shad Darshanas, Nyaya Darshan is also one of these. But when you say Nyaya as a one of the source of knowledge, one of the 14 Vidyas, that's not Nyaya Darshana. This Nyaya is a tool in which is uh, helpful in all the darshanas. So it is basically a equipment by which we can enhance our Vedic studies, or at least understand those any Vedic studies. Then the Mimamsa. Mimamsa is the science dealing with interpretation of various Vedic statements. Uh, when we study different scriptures, sometimes we do come across very opposing statements. So then a question may arise that how to understand these contradictions. Sometimes uh, some so-called scholars, they argue that this Vedas or Vedic scripture, they have very opposing things. It's not really true. Otherwise, how could there be opposing elements in the same scriptures? Sometimes they say one thing, then other time they say something different. So that means these scriptures are written by some human beings with errors. So these are all imperfect teaching. That's why they have opposing views. But that's not true at all. Vedic teachings or Vedic scripture, they are perfect, and there is a way to interpret those scriptures or to understand those scriptures, and that's why we have Mimamsa. Again, we should not uh, confuse it with Mimamsa Darshana. So among Shad Darshana, there is one of the Darshana is Mimamsa Darshana by Jaimini. So, but that is Mimamsa Darshana. But here we are talking about Mimamsa as a tool. So, uh, this is a science dealing with interpretation of various Vedic scriptures. So, we have Nyaya, then we have Mimamsa, then we have Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra, like Manu Samhita, Yajnavalkya Smriti, and there are other 18 other minor smritis. Uh, so these are the scriptures. They are dealing with the dharma. Dealing with dharma means practically how we should follow our varna and ashram dharma. So there are details of this uh, dharma shastras. Practically, uh, when somebody uh, gets born, then what are the rituals one should follow? What are the sanskaras, and what he should how one should study, or how someone should get married. So all those details. What if someone dies, and what are the duties of brahmana, what are the duties of kshatriyas, vaishyas, and shudras. All the details are contained in this dharma shastras. So this is also one of the sources of knowledge. And the last one is Puranas. So we have 18 major Puranas like Srimad Bhagavad Puran, Garud Puran, Agni Puran, Matsya Puran, Narad Puran, Padma Puran, Skanda Puran, and so on. So out of this, so this is the complete structure of our Vedic scriptures. Four Vedas, again I repeat, four Vedas, Shad Vedangas, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakarana, Nirukta, Chanda, Jyotisha. So these six Vedangas, and then we have four Nyaya, Mimamsa, Dharmashastra, and Puranas. So these are 14 Vidyasthanas or sources of knowledge, valid knowledge. And out of these 14 Vidyasthanas or 14 sources of knowledge, uh, each sampradaya follows this Prasthanatrayi. Prasthanatrayi means the three important sources of knowledge. So, from Shrutis Prasthan, we have Upanishads, right? So, um in the Shrutis or the four Vedas, there are various branches of knowledge. All kinds of knowledge is there, but out of that, the most important is Upanishads. So, from Shruti, we had taken Upanishads. So that's why they are the sampradaya. Each sampradaya has to have commentary on Shrutis Prasthan, because that will represent all the Shrutis. And then we have Smriti Prasthana. Smriti Prasthana means uh, Dharma Shastra, Puranas, Itihasa. These are Itihas, Puranas, they are more or less same things. There is a technical difference, but mainly it is of the same category. So from these Smritis, like Dharma Shastra and Puranas, we have Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita appears in Mahabharata, Mahabharata Bhishma Parva. So, so out of this, all these Dharma Shastra and Puranas, Bhagavad Gita is the most important text. So from the Smritis, we have most important text, which is Bhagavad Gita. That's why each sampradaya has to write commentary on Bhagavad Gita. And then third one is Nyaya Prasthana, that is Vedanta Sutra. So Vedanta Sutra again, the Vedanta Sutra have been given by Veda Vyasa. So it contained uh, the message of all the Vedas in a very short sutras, or short lines or short statements. And because these are the sutras that have been given after giving all this Vedic knowledge, so that's why it's called Vedanta. So the end result of all the Vedas. So that's is considered the conclusion of the Vedas. So conclusion would be the right word for that. So that is why each sampradaya, any authentic sampradaya has to have commentary on Vedanta Sutra. So this Prasthanantari we understood. Shruti Prasthana, Smriti Prasthana, and then Nyaya Prasthana. And it represents all the 14 Vidyas, right? 14 Vedas, again I repeat, 4 Vedas, 6 Vedangas, and Nyaya, Mimamsa, Dharma, Shastra, Puranas. Out of these 14, we have 3. That is Shruti Prasthan, that means Upanishadas, Smriti Prasthan is Bhagavad Gita, and Nyaya Prasthan, that is Vedanta Sutra. Okay, so and we out of this Shruti Prasthan, Smriti Prasthan, and Nyaya Prasthan, we are going to study Bhagavad Gita. So that's how the connection with the original divine source. Because Vedas are considered apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means it has not been uh, made by any human being. These are the words of God that have appeared from His mouth. So uh, it is of divine origin, and that's why whatever is divine, that is a valued source of knowledge for us, and we are uh, one may say that Bhagavad Gita, it was very recent because Lord Krishna spoke it on the battlefield of Mahabharata. So in whatever way we may take it, ultimately the source is divine because Lord Krishna is the God. He is the supreme personality of Godhead, and He has given this divine knowledge. So in all points of view, Bhagavad Gita is very relevant for us because it is of divine source, and that's why it can really help us. Anything of the material origin or has material limitations cannot help us because material because we will be or we are already dealing with material problems, and material problems cannot be solved by material solutions. Any material problems we have in our life, that must be or that can be solved only by spiritual solutions. Otherwise there is no really relevance of Bhagavad Gita in our life if you take it as any book of any material knowledge, because it contains spiritual knowledge. It is a divine source. That's why it can help us. Okay, so I think we can conclude here. So if anybody has any question, any doubt, that it can be asked regarding the structure or the course. And rest assured, we won't be having any exams. So whatever you can grasp from this course, that will be your asset. Uh, the exam is already going on in our life, so we don't want to burden with burden you with more exams. So please focus on the contents and its details, and you can always discuss with us wherever you get any questions. Okay, Vidagda Pro, over to you.
Yes, Pruji. Yes, Pruji. Pruji, I have one question. Uh, what is the process? Means what is the methodology of making notes? Because we want to make notes so that we can have a proper study of this Bhagavad Gita, and we can also like for lifetime we want to save those notes so that we can have in-depth study of Bhagavad Gita. So, can you suggest what is the method of making notes
See, making
during your
notes is
classes?
something an individual's choice and an individual's preference, or how one thinks. How one thinks. It reflects our thought process. So I cannot have any monopoly on how to make notes because I personally never make notes. That's a different thing. So I would suggest that whatever thought process you may have, you may use it, and just take note of it either in mind or either in diary or any any other way you may think proper for you. So I don't want to limit it or make it a standard that this is the way to make notes. Uh, our classes will be recorded, so we can always take uh, guidance from those classes. We can always hear them again and again. So that's one thing. Otherwise, regarding notes, the best thing is you share it with others in words. I mean, we can always share those recorded videos, but to be really remember anything, we should speak it, live by it. So that will be the best way of making notes, I would say. So
Yes, thank you,
Uh,
Prabhuji.
just share it. Whatever you hear today, you share it with others. That today I learned these things, and that will be your notes. It will be in your memory. That's the fastest way to remember anything for a long time. Okay,
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
because that's the way. No, by sharing knowledge, knowledge increases. So that's a tip from my side. Okay. Any other
Yes,
thing? Any other
no,
thought?
Prabhuji. Prabhuji, actually, like we are going to refer Bhagavad Gita as it is. Along with that, do we need commentaries from other acharyas, or just we need to have this book only during the
No,
classes?
nothing. Actually, you don't need any book with you. But if you want to refer to Bhagavad Gita, so we can have Bhagavad Gita as it is with you. Because I don't expect that devotees will be sitting uh, in front of the screen and they will be watching this. So I don't expect that. If devotees have time, they can sit in front of the screen and study Bhagavad Gita line by line. But even if they are not able to make it, it's okay. I don't expect that. They may be hearing it while doing some work, or they may be lying down somewhere and maybe taking bath or anything. Of course, it's a little it will be little more technical, not too much technical, but little technical. So, but it's all up to the audience. If whether they want to keep book or not, it's all up to the audience. Okay. Vivek Kumarji, here's a question.
Hare
Probably
Krishna Prabhuji
Priyank.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Priyank. Yes, Priyank.
Yes, I wanted to ask you. I have two questions.
Okay.
So first question is that are all the commentaries of authorized acharyas same?
All commentaries of authorized acharyas same. Authorized acharyas does not mean they are one person. So obviously there must be some difference. That's why they have written commentaries. So the message is more or less the same, but there are some details, and also the perspective of looking at the same thing is little different. So that's why even among authorized acharyas we have different commentaries. So it's like watching the same scene from different angle. For example, we have a drama. Okay, so the person who is in front of the scene, or in front of the dramatist, that's like one perspective, and looking at from the corner, or looking at from little distance, or looking at going very near to the artist and watching them, that's a different thing. So it's the same thing. So different acharyas, authorized acharyas, they have written commentaries on Bhagavad Gita, but with a different perspective. So it's a different, but it's all about the same thing, and it's not necessarily contradicting. It's just because of their angle is different. It's the same drama. Bhagavad Gita is a drama. It's imagined as a drama. So it's the same drama they are commenting upon, but with a different angle. So
Thank you, Prabhuji.
uh, so there is nothing
One
like a difference of opinions. Whatever appears as different, that's all because of our how to say, it's our limitations. When we understand it through the Shastra Samanvaya, that's why in the Vedanta Sutra there is a one sutra. It's called Tattu Samanvayat. So when we understand everything by Samanvaya or reconciliation, so or harmonization. So by harmonization or reconciliation, everything appears to be clear. There is nothing like contradicted. Even in the whole Vedic literature, there is nothing contradicted. Whatever appears to be contradicted, just because of our lack of knowledge. So
Yeah,
especially,
Prabhu, one more question I had.
okay.
That there are many commentaries, there are many authorized commentaries on Bhagavad Gita.
Hmm.
So, why are there many commentaries? Just like nowadays, we only preach the commentary of Srila Prabhupada. So, how can the other commentaries be useful for us or for the general public?
So, if you are talking about the authorized commentaries, then as I mentioned, there are many details of the same Bhagavad Gita. So, Bhagavad Gita is is a subject matter, but there are many details of that subject matter. So, what Prabhupada is given is the core teachings of Bhagavad Gita, the essential teachings of Bhagavad Gita, and which is very practical and which is very easy to be understood by general public. But then uh, we should also try to uh, delve deep into those teachings there, because there are many other details of that those teachings. So we are not surpassing our acharyas, rather we are serving our acharyas by studying the same teachings in great depth. So and then I think that will enhance our faith on those teachings, because many times I come across this argument that Prabhupada has not given enough, or see other sampradaya they are studying so much, and uh, Prabhupada has given his commentaries uh, with little bias on bhakti. So all these questions can be answered by these presentations. When we study all the other commentaries, then we can really understand how Prabhupada has already included those details, some of those details, and how these different details actually reconcile in Bhagavad Gita, and how this it increases our faith in Bhagavad Gita. So that will be that will be like inspiration for us to study our Vedic scriptures in depth. And why not? If we are, because our aim is to understand Krishna. So Krishna, understanding Krishna means understanding his words, understanding his pastimes, understanding uh, his form. Like some people, they just don't know anything about how to decorate the Lord. So we should be curious about everything that is related to Krishna, or making bhoga for the Lord. So we should really go in depth of that thing. So one may say, "Oh, I know only four things: sabji, chapati, rice, dal." That's perfect. It's not an offense, but it's always a pleasure to go in depth of cooking and make different bhogas for the Lord. So it's like the same with the understanding, same with understanding Krishna's words. So uh, having some details or some teachings of Bhagavad Gita, but going in depth of those teachings on what uh, depth it has in our daily life, or how it uh, basically it can serve two purposes. One thing is increasing our faith in Bhagavad Gita. That's one aspect. Another thing is sometimes we have this jitnyasa that uh, like sometimes we don't see the connection between the words, or connection with the overall theme of Bhagavad Gita. So by reading some of the text of Bhagavad Gita in a very simplified manner, it may not satisfy this thirst of understanding the connection between the words, connection between the verses, connecting between the chapters, how the things are moving forward. So, and this again, it will always contribute to our faith in Bhagavad Gita, or faith in Srila Prabhupada's teachings. So, it's always complementary to Prabhupada's teachings. That's why we should have in-depth study of Bhagavad Gita, or by using other commentaries as well. Okay. Anything else? Brihanta?
Yes, Prabhu. I am satisfied, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Okay, Videka Prabhu, shall we conclude here?
Yeah. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So, just a message, we will be having this Bhagavad Gita course. Let's not even call it a course, but it's like the studying Bhagavad Gita, or uh, getting immersed in Bhagavad Gita, or secrets of Bhagavad Gita from February, on the auspicious day of Vasant Panchami or Saraswati Puja, will be commencing this study. This just an introductory course, because many devotees were not informed about this course. So I thought, let's have some introduction on Bhagavad Gita, and then we can continue uh, from 3rd February. Okay? Hare Krishna.
And for the timing, Prabhuji, we asked the opinion poll of the devotees.
Okay.
And I think it is 50-50. Some of them have suggested from 6 to 6:30 p.m. and some of them 9 to 9:30 p.m. So, Prabhuji, we have to decide which timing will be there, because around 12 people have voted for 9 p.m. and around 10 devotees have voted for 6 p.m. So we
If
have
it
to
is
decide, Prabhuji,
50-50,
which timing will be there.
then if it is 50-50, then better to go with the original announcement,
Okay, Prabhuji.
because
Actually, more number of people, like 2 people are more than 6 p.m. Those who
that,
have voted for
that
6 p.m.
and many devotees might not have voted for that. That's also considered.
Okay, okay, okay,
So
Prabhuji.
that's why, if our original announcement has the 6 p.m. time, let's go by that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Okay. Okay, Prabhuji. Then what I will do, I will now create a permanent link along with the time of 6 to 6:30 p.m. and I will share in the group, Prabhuji.
Okay.
And I also request other devotees who are present today to please share this message with everybody so that they can get benefit of Bhagavad Gita, in-depth study of Bhagavad Gita.
Okay. वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, भगवान श्री कृष्ण की जय। हरे कृष्ण।